There are 3.5 million unfilled cybersecurity jobs on the planet right now. The field cannot hire fast enough. Salaries for entry-level analysts start around $60,000, and senior practitioners earn well over $200,000. Universities are producing a fraction of the needed graduates. The skills gap is so severe that most major employers, including the federal government, have publicly dropped the 4-year degree requirement for most security roles. The barrier is not education. It is demonstrable skill. And demonstrable skill in cybersecurity is something you can build entirely outside a classroom, with free tools on your own time. Here is exactly how. Cybersecurity has several distinct career tracks, and the path to each differs significantly. The major categories: security operations, monitoring, incident detection and response, penetration testing and red teaming, offensive testing of systems to find vulnerabilities before attackers do, security engineering, building secure systems and infrastructure, application security, securing software code and development processes, threat intelligence, analyzing adversary tactics and attributing attacks, and governance, risk and compliance, policy, frameworks, and regulatory adherence. Each has different skill requirements and different entry points. The realistic entry point for most self-taught beginners is security operations, specifically a SOC Analyst Tier 1 role. SOC analysts monitor security events, investigate alerts, and escalate potential incidents. These roles have the lowest technical barrier to entry, the most available positions, and the clearest certification pathway. They are also genuinely valuable. The SOC is where most real-world security events are detected and handled. Starting as a SOC analyst is not settling. It is how the majority of cybersecurity professionals began, including many who now work in specialized offensive roles. The certification pathway for SOC entry typically follows this sequence: CompTIA A. A+. If you have no IT background at all, this establishes baseline hardware and OS knowledge. CompTIA Network Plus, fundamental networking concepts, TCP/IP, routing, protocols. CompTIA Security Plus, the most widely recognized entry-level security certification, accepted across the U.S. federal government and most enterprise security departments as a baseline qualifier. These 3 certifications, passed in sequence, demonstrate enough foundational knowledge to realistically compete for Tier 1 SOC positions. Security Plus can be completed in 3 to 6 months of study from scratch. Certifications open doors, but practical skills get you hired and advance your career. 3 platforms provide free or low-cost hands-on practice with real-world tools. Try HackMe, guided learning paths in browser-based environments, beginner-friendly, has a SOC analyst path, and a pre-security path that are the best starting points. Hack the Box, more challenging, realistic, machine-based labs, better for intermediate and advanced users. Blue Team Labs Online, defense-focused scenarios including log analysis, incident response, and threat hunting. A GitHub profile documenting your lab work on these platforms is your portfolio. A home lab is the single most differentiating factor in a cybersecurity resume. Running your own lab, even on a modest hardware budget or using free virtualization on an existing computer, demonstrates practical engagement that certifications alone cannot signal. The minimum viable home lab, VirtualBox or VMware Workstation Player for free, running Kali Linux as an offensive VM and a vulnerable intentionally broken VM like Metasploitable or DVWA. Practice basic scanning with Nmap, learn Metasploit, exploit a known vulnerability, write up what you did as a blog post or GitHub README. That is a portfolio piece. The advanced certification path diverges based on direction. For offensive security, penetration testing, the OSCP from offensive security is the gold standard that hiring managers specifically look for. It requires passing a 24-hour hands-on exam hacking, 5 machines with no exam bank. It is hard. It is respected. PNPT from TCM Security is a more affordable alternative that some employers now accept. For Blue Team and Incident Response, CompTIA CISA Plus, GIAC, GCIH, or the EC Council, CEH in that order of difficulty and employer recognition. For cloud security, AWS Security Specialty, or the CCSP. Networking in the security community accelerates everything. B-Sides conferences. Community-organized security conferences in cities worldwide, usually free or low cost, are the fastest way to meet practitioners, hear talks on real-world techniques, and get exposed to the breadth of the field. DEF CON's CTF competitions and villages provide hands-on experience with high-level problems. Local ISACA and ISSA chapter meetings connect you with regional security professionals. Discord communities around TryHackMe and Hack the Box have active communities that answer questions, share resources, and post job leads. The transition path for people already in IT is often faster than starting from zero. Help desk experience teaches the organizational and communication skills that security roles require. System administrator experience builds the infrastructure knowledge that makes security work legible. Network engineering experience is directly applicable to network security. If you are already in IT, your path to security typically runs through Security plus 12 to 18 months of targeted lab practice and possibly one intermediate certification, rather than years of foundational building. The field values adjacent experience heavily. 3.5 million open positions. Degree not required. Skills demonstrable through free platforms. The barrier is not background or funding. It is focused, sustained effort over 12 to 18 months. That is a realistic timeline for a motivated beginner to go from no background to a Tier 1 SOC role. The career is real, the compensation is real, and the shortage is real. If you want to understand what the day-to-day work looks like for one of the most interesting specializations in the field, our video on bug bounty hunting, how hackers get paid legally, covers how security researchers get paid by companies to find and report their vulnerabilities.